Hello.
Oh. Welcome in, everybody. You can't see my
Hello.
camera, apparently. Huh. I will have to fix that. Welcome in, everybody.
This disembodied voice, Chris.
I guess so.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome
What's
back.
Oh, no, that's the game table. What is going on, chat? Oh, am I behind? There I am. Oh. There we go. 1 second, chat. Apparently, I am above the... What is going
Travel
on?
Cedric, what's going on? Brent. Old Gamer, what's going on? Sugar Rush. James, what's happening?
There we go.
What's going on, Tim? Plump Crunchy. Ready? What's going on? Hello, welcome to Wednesday. Hump Day.
There we go.
As we call it.
Chat, I will be right back.
Hope everybody's week is hit the midpoint in stride. Zilfer, what's going on? Happy Hump Day. Chris is working on some hard drive stuff over in marketing. One of the artists, I think, got some new expansion drives, NAS, something they're having issues with. So he'll be back, assuming they get it resolved. It may just be you stuck with me today. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha. We know how that ends. That's never pretty. I miss all the questions. I blame it all on Chris. We all go home and cry. The way it works, man. The way it works. Oh, and I bet, let me see if I can take out the knuckleheads who think we want to buy viewers on Kick. But I can't because somebody stole my mouse. So, oh well, I guess. Sarcastic, what's going on? Alrighty, this is one of our texture trader framables, the Duchess Prime. We've been working on her for a few days now. It's taken me just a few days now just to do all of the freaking non-metallic gold jewelry in the base of orange. I think this is day 3 of just doing orange. So bear with me. Bear with me as I get all the fine jewelry details done without getting too overly sloppy. I can afford to be sloppy on some of it, but not all of it. I'm trying to make progress, chat. I swear I am. I'm not wanting this to take forever. I typically slow down on details. It's just one of my things, right? Because I get, like everybody else, I get a little antsy. I don't want to have colors run over into other areas, you know, all the stuff we talk about. It's just where I tend to kind of overanalyze, and I think in my brain just get a little more gun shy with my brushstrokes sometimes. Would be a good way to say it. Did you steal my mouse?
Did I steal your mouse? I did. How we doing, everybody? I am back. Oh, who do we got? Mun Paints, good morning.
Yeah, the bicentennial, like the AI and the robotic type thing. We have a series of these that are all done in the kind of Victorian portrait style. The Duchess Prime. We've got Krug and Thrug.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Sir Viathan. So we have the Lord, the Knightly Lord, as a fish.
Nice.
It's a fish. And then the General and the Duchess. So a neat trio of characters that are in 4x6 or 10x15 centimeter. So you can frame them in a commonly used frame size and hang them on the wall, set them on your desk, do all sorts of cool stuff with them.
McCarthy bought the Duchess. Nice. Silver says, my butt sets arrive on Saturday as well as my first texture trainer. Can't wait to touch the butt. Nice.
What? We've had some people be like, what a great way to take advantage of your customers by selling them the waste of your paint production stuff. And I'm like, you don't understand, dude.
Stuff. What are you talking about?
Got into an argument, an internet argument, the best kind of argument, right? Where I was like, you don't seem to understand who we are, right? This is a kind of a community joke. Started as a community joke. The community really loved it, and we decided to continue it in a way because more people were demanding that we make the butt available without it being just to conventions where not everybody can go. And we've known that, right? Not everybody can go to conventions where the wizard's butt is normally available. So we said, oh, well, we'll sell it as a set. And then I got yelled at on the internet. It's like, I went to marketing class too. That's exactly what I would say if I were just marketing and taking advantage of people. I was like, good God, dude. Some people wake up and choose violence.
Make sure I catch up.
How much do the Frameables cost? They're $40 a piece.
And also, Old Man Gamer, if you have a question specifically about your order, I would email support.
Yeah, we can't do any. Yeah. The one thing I can tell you is we sent out an email with regard to the shipping timing. We are very backed up. The first time ever sale on the site wound up being ridiculous response. Way more than we could have ever imagined. And it puts us in a bind, and we hate it. I sent out an email where I personally wrote out a very... not long-winded. It's very short-winded, actually. Explanation of what was going on, but we were running about 5 days behind on shipping right now. So rather than 2 business day turnaround, you're looking at 6 or 7 day turnaround from the time you placed your order.
Yeah.
But we don't know any specifics about order numbers here.
Old Gamer, so I'm reading this here. You said I ordered the Wizard's Butt set and the 40 other paints. I got the other 40 cents for one separate paint. Oh, one separate paint with Wizard's Butt. Looks like a gray. Yes, some of those.
Yep, some of them come through.
Some of them. That's another natural way of getting Wizard's Butt. So that's probably what you're talking about. Yep. Sometimes they'll throw those in orders.
Yeah, so there are three standard ways to get Wizard's Butt outside of the set we just sold on Black Friday, and that is still in the store, by the way, just not on sale anymore. You can get them at conventions, where you typically come to our booth and show us a picture of a model you've painted with Procryl. You'll get a bottle of Wizard's Butt, and then you post up on your social media tagging us with the Wizard's Butt. And that's one way to get it, but you have to go to shows to get it that way, right?
Most of the time.
And then you can get it delivered in a box. So we put them in random orders on the website. So if you order from monumenthobbies.com, every now and then you might just see a random color appear with the Wizard's Butt label, and that's kind of fun. Nice surprise. We have no say over when that happens. It's just as the particular fulfillment agent in charge of your order decides, you know what, this one gets a butt. So that's fun. And then there are the ones that we give away as prizes here on the stream occasionally. Mm-hmm. We gave away 3. Did we give away 3 or 4 sets? 3 sets?
I think it was 4. I think we gave 4 sets away on that day.
We gave away some Wizard's Butt sets last week.
Week before last, yeah. You've never gone on a convention. Yeah, they're tough. But they're tough to get to sometimes because sometimes they land in the middle of the week. But if you can get to one, they're fun. What's up, Captain Schmo? Jade, what's going on? Jason, tell us what you're doing now.
I'm painting.
What are you painting?
Burnt orange. I told him already that I've been doing this for 3 days.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of trim on her.
There's a lot of trim on this one.
A lot of jewelry, a lot of stuff. I'm doing all of the rope trim on her in non-metallic gold, as well as the jewelry and all that stuff. I do it all in the same gold, and then we'll probably do a little bit different highlighting or something on the actual jewelry versus the rope trim so that they look like different materials. But I'll work them up the same way as the base goes. Do
random orders from EU get random butt paint? Stan,
yep.
I don't... Do they?
Yep. We have
I
Wizards
didn't know
Button
that.
EU
There you
too.
go. I didn't know that. The more you know.
Yep. Right now they have only one color. They have the kind of very light grayish blue that maybe old man was talking about getting.
That Chai Cat says, I really want to start on some bigger display models, but I'm struggling to figure out how to fit those in while also trying to get my first actual army on the table.
Yep.
Love having projects, but man, I want to work on those all at once.
That's the big trouble, right? Is picking, and that's why I always say it's good to have multiple projects going. So if you find one being boring, you're sick of painting whatever army color that you're painting, then you just pick up a bust or something nice as a palette cleanser, something that is of a totally different focus, right? Because on a larger model, you'll have to think about it differently, approach it differently, do obviously different colors probably, things of that nature. And so you can really get a lot of mileage out of having 2 or 3 projects simultaneously. So you've always got one that's intriguing. You probably want to keep them different enough. Like, don't have 3 Space Marine Legions going. Not that you can't, but if you're bored with Space Marines or bored with Dark Angels, switching over to Blood Angels probably isn't going to make that big of a difference.
And that is the Discord link there for you, Stephen. That right there will take you to our Discord. Hawk says, huzzah, my butt stuff got arrived today. Nice.
Awesome.
That's great.
See? Stuff is shipping.
Stuff
We're starting to
shipping.
see people in the wild start posting their winnings, I guess, their prizes from Black Friday, their hard-earned dollars working for them and getting Wizards Butt and Frameables and all their haul for the Christmas season. It is going out the door. It's just taken us a long time to work through this amount of orders. It's been insane. And people are going to get sick of me saying that, but holy cow. We've had meetings every day on, okay, how can we get more efficient without crushing people in fulfillment? Because we have people that work hard. We just need to get the speed dialed in.
Blood Angels might be the coolest looking Loyalist Legion on the table. The red is so striking.
I love it. That's why I'm doing them. Red and gold. I'm adding some black in for fun, too. But I agree. I think Blood Angels look really well. Although I'm a big Imperial Fist fan. I like the yellow. You can do so much with yellow. Weather it, and it looks really good. I had a hard time as a new person years and years and years ago getting into the 40K world saying, you have these superhuman soldiers. Why are they wearing yellow armor? And then you're like, well, I guess because they're superhuman, they can wear whatever color they want. They're not trying to be too tactical with their color scheme. They don't need camo. They could just walk across the field in yellow and pink. Because what are you going to do about it? But I had a hard time with the suspension of disbelief on the yellow armor, I have to admit.
Sofer says, I stole your Imperial Fist recipe from the methodologies, and I really like how it looks. I just love how the yellow turned out.
Yeah, it works as a really great way to do yellow.
Love yellow. Oh, you don't love yellow, Zofer. Yeah, yellow's a tough one. But if you get it done right, it comes out great.
We have a lot of, obviously, as a customer service organization, when it comes to painting, a lot of questions that we get are not regarding the product, because our product doesn't really fail. It's more about choosing colors. How do I get the effect that I saw? Things like that. So a lot of the customer service that we have is actually more tutorial questions, which can kind of stymie our customer service group sometimes, because not all of them are up to speed on like all the paint jargon and stuff. But we get in there and we really try to handle it. And yellows come up a lot, right? People don't necessarily know how to handle yellows and bright colors like that, because one of the biggest problems you'll have, we get asked here on stream a lot, is, they immediately try to paint it over black. They prime their model black and want to paint yellow armor. You have to do like what I'm doing here. This gold will be yellow, but I'm starting with browns and oranges, which create the shadow colors for yellow. Paint those colors on first. Then when you paint the yellow, it will sit much better over a brighter color like this orange. Even though this orange is still not super bright, it's better than trying to paint it over black. And so anytime you might get disgruntled painting with yellows or pinks or even bright greens, a lot of times it's because you're trying to go over too dark of a base layer and not giving the color the benefit of being able to go over a lighter hue, whether it's another yellow, like yellow ochre, which is what we'll do next on this model, before we go to a bright yellow. And that can be confusing because as new painters, sometimes it's like, well, why do I want to paint brown before yellow? You know, I would just want to do yellow and put a wash over it. But certain pigments, especially the brighter you go, are harder to control the opacity on, harder to get to look right. You got to do a little bit of extra work, but it pays off in spades.
The Great Gur says, how freeze resistant is Pro Acryl?
Very much so. We triple freeze thaw test our formulas before approving them for manufacture every batch. So we pay quite a bit of attention to that. Now, it is a water-based product. All of our paints are. And if it is allowed to crystallize, meaning freeze solid, then it will never be the paint you need it to be, because crystallization changes the chemical component of the paint. And it won't rebound from that very well. Doesn't mean you wouldn't still be able to use it, but certain colors will react poorly if they actually are allowed to freeze solid and stay that way long enough to crystallize, you know, like ice. But that happens super. You would have to like accidentally ship it while you were on vacation in Canada, and it would sit buried in snow on your porch for a long time before it would just freeze rock solid.
Danger says, any tips for non-metallic metal with only black and white and maybe a color from our flag for the painting challenge? I'm doing tank weapons and treads.
Well, when you say, like, what are you looking for in terms of tips? Because if you're just painting with black and white, then you're mixing for your grays and you're doing the same workup you would with color. You're just working with value, right? And then glazing over the top, I assume, which works great. We did that video of painting textures, and all I did was black and white. And we did the blue jeans on the hunter and then the handcuffs that he has. And you could see on that video very clearly how I go through and just use black and white for the value sketch. To get that up, Chris can probably give you the link for that. I don't have the model sitting over here. I think you've got it.
Yeah, here is that link that he's talking about right there. That whole video, essentially, he goes through painting textures with black and white, so that might actually really help you there, Danger. Wired says, in the December challenge, are we allowed to use different values of limited palette? Some have. In the Canadian flag, red and white using different saturations or brightness?
Well, yeah, you only can use one color of red, and then you can use white and black. Mm-hmm. To tint, tone, and shade, right? So you could mix the white and the black together to get gray, and then mix the gray with your red. You can't pick multiple colors of red. You have to pick one hue and run with that one. That's the whole idea of the limited palette, is you have to create your own values out of that single color. We always let you have white and black so that you can do that. You pick one red, like Pyro Red if you're using our colors. But you can pick whatever red you want.
Yeah, check out that link there too, Danger. It's a good one. Because it's specifically about just using black and white.
Yeah, that'll help a lot. I paint the handcuffs on the model in non-metallic steel, using just black and white, and you can follow that and then just kind of stop when you have the level of shine you want. If you're doing tank tracks, you may not want them to be ultra shiny, so you can stop like a level before I put the brightest highlight on those handcuffs, or use it just like the handcuffs that I do and then weather the tracks back, right? Remember that if you're doing tanks, a lot of times the best way to do tank anything is to paint it as if it's shiny and new, and then do your weathering over the top that knocks the shine down.
Yeah, you were saying, Zilfer, the transparency mix into metallic medium is absolutely sorcery level.
Yeah.
It's definitely an awesome tool. Stan says, I assume this model is going in the frame you showed on stream. Are you going to do anything to the frame?
No, and that was just a frame that we've had during all of the production of these to make sure that as we poured the molds that they fit. So that's not the frame I'll be using. I'll get something for my desk or for the house, depending on where I want to use this. I probably want to keep it here in the studio, but I'll pick some sort of frame. It could go in that one. On these, I probably wouldn't. I would probably paint them and then take them to the store and pick out a frame based on the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
And then, find something that matched. There's no reason why you couldn't. I just am not one that really cares to paint the frame. Now, if I were going to do something like just spray paint one of these bright yellow and then wanted a bright red frame, then yeah, I would then take a simple wood frame and spray it bright red if I were using that as the artistic sensibility of the whole thing. But when I'm spending this much time painting, I'm not going to paint the frame as well. I want to keep the frame being basic. Unless it were something where I wanted to do like a rattle can gold or something on the frame to make it like a gilded, bronze frame or something, then I might change the overall color with a single coat, but I wouldn't spend any time putting any effort behind it. I don't want to detract from the effort of the paint on the figure in most cases. The trap you can fall into where you do too much detailing on the diorama around the figure, and the figure gets lost in the detailing you've done everywhere else on the parts that really aren't the focal point. Usually the figure is the focal point. Not always.
Marshall says, I really appreciate watching this live. Seeing the true pace of painting instead of the sped up brushwork on most YouTube videos makes me feel more better in my pace.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I am not a fast painter, and I don't worry about it at all. It has no bearing on the outcome of the model other than I feel like when I rush, I don't get as good a quality. So I tend to just take my time. And you can imagine here as we paint on stream, we've been doing this for coming up on 10 years. And, painting on stream, sometimes the pressure is on to get to the next part so that you're not watching me 3 days paint orange ropes. But I tend to, I try very hard not to let myself get caught in that trap. Just keep painting because there's a reality to it that is, I think, empowering for people, like you're saying, that shows that no matter who it is that's painting, you don't have to fall victim to the, oh my God, I painted these models and won a golden demon in 10 minutes. I don't buy into that. That's the catchphrase for the algorithm that a lot of people do, Paint an army. I saw one the other day. Paint an army where I only spend 15 minutes on each model and get fully completed models. And I'm like, okay, that's good clickbait, but it takes a long time to get to a point where your confidence will allow you to paint models to a level you're happy with in 15 minutes. So I'm all about, let's show you the real process. And we paint models to all sorts of levels, so it doesn't mean that you have to take 1,000,000 hours on every model either. We say it a lot on here that it's about deciding at the very beginning what you're expecting from the project and put realistic expectations on it, right? If it's a project where you're going to learn a new technique, try something new, then don't pressure yourself necessarily into saying, okay, I got to have this done by tomorrow, because that will definitely hinder your ability to learn if you're also under the wire to or under the pressure of getting it done in a particular time.
Tech Badger says, what are some of the weirdest or non-hobby items you found that have become a game changer? My roommate showed me how useful a widget popper is for washes and speed paints, but I can't go back. Some non-hobby items that are game changers.
I think that sponge and foam are great because they make weathering and scratches and that kind of texturing just super simple. And I wouldn't call them hobby tools necessarily, because we used to just take the foam that came in the blister pack for your models and tear a piece of the foam out to do that with. Or even before that, in scale modeling, we would take your mom's dish brush or dish sponge and tear off pieces of that. So I consider that to be one that's kind of a good hack. Now there are products that people try to sell you that are a piece of foam on a stick, which I think is silly, but just go get the foam for free out of some other household product. I don't think you have to buy something to make it work. So I love that. Cork, bottle cork is what I use to hold my models most of the time. So for me, that's a huge one. Most of the time when you see me painting a model, it'll be with a wine cork, right? That I'll either do like this, put a paper clip in it and have the head attached onto it like that, or something of that nature. I've got them in all sizes because they make them for, virtually any size for like wine, home crafting wine. So you get these big freaking corks, and then I just poster tack on there because it's a really good ergonomic handle, soft and easy to manage, lightweight. So I like that a lot.
Mo, speaking of sponge, how did the magic eraser test go, Chris? I didn't try that. Yet, Mo. I totally forgot about that.
What were we going to do?
I was going to try using, I don't remember what I was going to use it for. Maybe some different texture or something like that. I don't remember. Joshua says, today I tested using a fountain pen with my DIY washes. Lines are so much better to do. With a fountain pen?
Yep. If you've got low enough viscosity, it should be able to draw into the tines of the pen.
Oh, that's right. Mo, you said with Noosh. I haven't tried it yet. Thanks for reminding me.
If you were doing freehand lettering or something, that might be good. But there's also indelible inks and stuff that you can use straight out of a pen that are made to work, that work okay. The micron pens work really well for that too. I wouldn't consider them necessarily to be a hobby product. They're just an art product. But the micron pens work great for like line work. That's what I used to use all the time for doing lettering on purity seals and things of that nature.
Game Delay says, I've started into Moonstone models, Chris. I'll collect all those stones. Yeah, it's a fun game, Game Delay. Plus the models are cool too.
I got to watch these guys play it. It has some fun mechanics in it.
It's a very whimsical game.
It has some fun mechanics in it. It's a game that I think I have more fun watching other people play, but I would love to paint the models. The models are really fun.
It's a fun game to watch too. Wired, I told you about using Noosh with Mr. Clean. Okay, Wired. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. It doesn't scratch it off, Wired? Like it doesn't like remove your paint? I guess I don't know why. I would feel like it's a little abrasive on your paint.
It probably takes more off.
Maybe that's why. What's up, T-Schmid? Wired says pens are .001 size I use for pin washing. Little Billy says, have you guys played Burrows and Badgers? The concepts and middies are so fun. No, I haven't even heard of it.
Nope.
Burrows and Badgers.
I have to be very honest here. I never give a lot of credence to anything that sounds like a riff on Dungeons and Dragons. That's not fair.
Burrows and Badgers?
That's not fair to anything.
Burrows and Badgers.
But I've always hated that.
We just like if something has the word "and" in it.
Well, if somebody is a thing and a creature.
Oh, I guess
because
it's
a riff on Dungeons and Dragons, and so I always think it's a like a lightweight ripoff, right? And I hate that about it. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. It's just an aversion I have to, back. It probably dates back to like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then there were like all the ripoffs that were, trying to steal the thunder and make some money off of the hit that it was.
Oh, now I haven't even seen the models, little Billy. Pathfinder, double T, Pathfinder? Question mark.
What about it?
What is Pathfinder?
It's another RPG like D&D.
Oh, okay. Silver says deodorant and ogres, the game store.
Yeah, deodorant and ogres.
That's what you need. There's a TGC, that one video game out there, the where you can run your own card shop. It's so silly.
No, I don't have a problem with other RPGs. Like, I grew up playing Gamma World.
Gamma World.
And I thought it was the greatest thing ever. It was so much better than D&D. It's just the naming convention makes me not pay attention to it when it's, Dungeons and Dragons and then, Burrows and Badgers. It's just, it feels too similar to me. So I think my brain just tunes out.
Darkos MD, thank you for that Prime sub. Appreciate it. Mo says, I loved Gamma World.
Yep.
What was Gamma World about?
It was an RPG that was in a kind of a dystopian future where radiation allowed you to create a character that had all these mutations. Right?
Okay.
And then you just did RPG stuff. But you had laser guns and...
Joshua says, so you don't play shoots and ladders. A little different there.
That's not a place in a place in a creature.
It's a shoot and it's a ladder.
Those are two things.
It's ladders.
I like I said, I'm probably not explaining it very well. It's just that I feel like it's something that is it's taking from the notoriety of one thing and turning it into a farce. And I don't have a problem with the farce, right? I just don't give it as much mind share. Like, I don't think of it as being serious when I see Burrows and Badgers. I just won't think of it as being a serious thing, so I will miss the cool factor of it. If they have cool miniatures, I would just turn right past it. I wouldn't even give it a thought.
Danger says, it's crazy how good paint and being able to see makes you so much better and more comfortable. Oh, I see what you're saying, Danger. Watching. Yeah, it definitely, watching at this pace definitely helps.
That's the goal. We're only on this show trying to do, well, I'd be lying. We're trying to do multiple things. The main thing is to try to instill confidence in you that anything I'm doing is something that's easy to learn. It's just a matter of time, right? I think anybody with the will to paint, right, and the confidence to say, yeah, I'm going to embark on this journey, can do anything that I show you doing. And it's more just a matter of, okay, how fast are you trying to get it done? Because there's where the frustration seats in. I tried to do that thing you showed, and it didn't work at all.
So there was killer mutants chickens in Gamma World?
There was all sorts of crazy stuff.
Interesting. Dan RPG says, I've noticed a lot of different models online only mention the scale and not the actual size. How does scale relate to the actual model dimensions? Sorry, newbie question.
Oh, no, not at all. So when you
that's a great question.
When you think about scale from like scale models, if I say 1/35th scale, right, it would mean that...
it was that scale at 35 times bigger or something?
Technically, yes.
Okay,
right?
It's
reduced at that. It's one, right? Of my model takes 35 to reach its true form. So like if you get a quarter scale tank, it's 25% of the actual size of the tank, which would be huge, right? Like 1/16th models or 16th scale. And some of them don't translate the same way, right? So if it's like 1/ or 1 and the ratio, there's a chart to look up to. But if you go on Google and you look up the scale model comparison chart, I think is what I would Google. Scale model size comparison chart. You'll find a really cool reference online that will show you what, like, it does everything from like train scale. Most of those charts will show you like HO train scale equals 1/48 equals, X amount of millimeters, right? Because in wargaming, we talk about like 25 millimeter miniatures. That means the height from the eye to the bottom of the foot. From the foot to the eye is 25 or 28 millimeter. That doesn't take into account anything above the eye level, technically. So Space Marines used to be 28 millimeter, heroic scale, bigger hands and chonkier so that they could mold them. Now they've grown to like 32 millimeter. They've gotten taller over time. And so that's a true measurement of distance. And that distance is from the eye line to the foot. And so that'll give you an idea of how big the model will be. And then all the embellishments might make it bigger. Big helmets, things like that. Arm raised above the head, things of that nature. That gaming scale is typically 1/56th to 1/48th in scale model size, right? So if you go and you look at, like, if you were playing bolt action, you would want something that was more along the lines of like 1/56th in scale for tanks, which some companies make, and then some companies make 1/48th scale. And depending on which, here it gets crazy, because depending on which documents they were looking at when they determined how big a Tiger tank was, because nobody has one in the backyard to just go take a tape measure to.
Yeah.
So you can look, and the measurements might be coded wrong, and so you might find a 1/48th scale tank and a 1/56 scale tank that when you put them together are almost the same size, right? So there's some variation. So you just kind of play it by gut. There's no perfect science to it for a lot of companies in the way they present their models, but it'll get you very close. But height, like 75 millimeter, like we talk about 75 millimeter models, would be, most busts tend to talk about being 75 mil.
What would our framables be?
Right, and 75 mil for a bust would be talking about overall height generally. Okay. 75 mil for a figure adheres to the same thing, where it's from the eye line, right? From the eye line to the foot would be a distance.
Okay.
Right. And so if you see a model that says 105 millimeter, sometimes now it gets crazy because some of them measure from the top of the model to the base. You just have to look at the manufacturer and determine which is which. So the long answer is there's no rule, but a lot of companies adhere to that scale document that you would go find.
Napoleonics at 11 millimeter scale was super small. Yeah, Imperialis I think is at 10 mil or something.
Imperialis is 6.
I thought I was going
5 or 6.
I thought I was going to enjoy that scale, and I ended up not enjoying it as much as I thought.
I like the big monster robots. I don't like the troops.
That's what I thought I was gonna like painting the troops. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so easy, and it's like,
it can be easy, but they don't look good when you make it that easy.
Yeah.
What you find out is that with the model, okay, back in the day, the 6 mil, what was called epic scale.
Yeah.
The 6 mil type stuff could be really easy to paint because it didn't have a lot of detail.
Yeah.
Technology has made it now to where 6 mil, those Space Marines have as much detail as the big ones.
Well, they're so good that it's just, I really...
It forces you to want to have to paint them more, and I don't want to paint 6 mil.
I truly went into Imperialis like, I'm going to love this scale.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't love this scale.
Somebody said they were hoping to paint along with the hate model. We can do some more work on the hate model.
Hate model? Which one was that?
That's the one I did on Friday.
Oh, that was from Hate. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mondays, thank you for that sub. Wow, 2 months already. Best streamers on Twitch. Hey, thank you so much, Mondays.
Thank you. Yeah, we can continue with that hate model at some point in time. That was a palette cleanser for me. That wasn't something that I planned to do a whole lot of. It was kind of a one and done. Get the skin sketched out and then put it off to the side. I do that a lot. When it's a miniature that I don't really have a need to finish, which is almost every miniature I paint. It's rare that I do stuff like my Blood Angels, where I'm actually looking to finish an army, and we paint that online. Most of the time, we're just doing things like this, and this one I'm looking to finish. When I'm doing the models that we make here in the studio, it becomes different.
Lumberjack. Some of my friends play at 6 millimeter historical 6 millimeters.
Well, that's what Imperialis is.
Oh, right.
They call it 6 millimeter. I don't technically. I think it's 5.
Is it 6 millimeter? But the model, like the things in real life, are big. So that even if they're small, that's just, that's too much.
Well, it's 6 millimeter based on the size of a standard human form in the game.
Right.
What does a human wind up being height-wise in its model form? 6
9 feet tall.
So it's like, 1/100th, or not quite 1/100th. It's probably 6 mil is probably, I don't think it's 1/72nd either, though. I can't remember what the scale is. It 1/72nd maybe? What is Flames of War? I think Flames of War is 1/100th.
Darth is saying BattleTech is like 6 mil, right?
BattleTech is 6 mil, they say, but it still varies too. Because if you look at the elementals sometimes are a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. So again, it's just an average that they use to weight it all.
PNG Not JPEG says, recently got a glass palette and have watched Tommy Soli paint and keep his paint workable. Can you just briefly show how you load your brush or work your paint?
Yeah, sure. Give me just a sec.
Great question.
Yeah, I only use a glass palette.
Funny bone there.
Or paper palette. When I travel, I use paper. I don't travel with my glass palette. I only use Gray Matters paper palette when I travel. And then I use the gray piece of glass that we got off of Amazon here for everything else. Did I just get through all the gold trim? Holy budzonkers.
Cord,
oh, no,
right?
I still have a thing up here. So yeah, so loading my paint. So switch over to the palette. When I keep my glass, right, my paint cup, and I rinse my brush like this, so I only ever dip the bristles along the water edge and rotate it around. So I rotate the brush around like this and scrub it up against the side of the thing. Okay, that's clean. Now I have however much water the paint will hold, right? So it's as wet as it. I don't squeegee it on the side. I don't flick it. I just rinse it like this and then I pull it out. So it has a lot of water in it. So if I'm glazing, I just take all that water and I come down and I add it in. So if you look at the palette, you'll see areas where, like over here with the purple, I've added just a whole bunch of water in and pulled out a glaze. For what I'm doing right now with the orange, I have set up over here, and you can see this puddle kind of sprawl out as I pull my brush strokes out of it. I will go over and I'll wipe on my paper towel over here. I'll do like, 1, 2, 3. Now I just have the dampness on my brush, and then I'll come over here and I just grab the side of the droplet and pull it down like that. That's why all my paint has these little legs coming off of it, right? You see like little streaks everywhere because I'm just grabbing the side of the droplet and pulling out. And then when I go over to the model, the first thing I do is I always have more paint on my brush than I need, right? That's one thing that people forget, is that that's too much paint, right? So I take some off, and then I'll come over here and we'll get the paint going on the model. It keeps it much more controllable. By not adding a lot of moisture to the paint on my palette, it makes it workable for longer. I don't speed up the evaporation by thinning it out. What most people don't understand is spreading your paint out on your palette is bad. Try to keep it in a tight droplet for as long as you can, and just pull that little bit of paint out from the edge of the droplet each time you need to get paint on your brush, rather than what you see a lot of YouTube and other videos doing. And it's not saying that what they're doing is intentionally bad. It's just they're not worried about what they're doing on the palette when they're showing you the video. They're worried about painting the model, right? And so what we need to think about is that if you come down here and you were to, I don't know, you see a lot of my paint spread out as I've thinned it. But if I were to just take a spot of paint like this and have a droplet and thin it out to this size, and then go paint and expect to get anything else out of this, you won't get much out of this paint, because now you spread it out very thin. There's more air touching the surface area of the paint, and that's what causes evaporation. So no matter if it's a humid or dry climate, if you spread your paint out, it will dry quicker. So keep it in a tight droplet like this, and the spread is just me pulling paint away on my brush. That's how I get paint on my brush, right? And like I said, if I'm doing a glaze, I take the wet brush and pull it out down here, and you can see how now that water is not in the droplet. It's taking a little bit of the paint and drawing the paint from the droplet down here. And that's what you see in all these areas, is I have to get it out here, thin it out, right? Now I can go glaze with this, so it has much less opacity than the regular paint does. And then I'll go back, and when I need to refill, put more water on my brush, maybe grab another tail of paint and bring it down here again and thin it down again. That way I always have the small, tight droplet of paint to work from. That's exactly the way the paint is out of the bottle, so it's as opaque as it can be, as vibrant as it can be. I always have that to go back to, and that takes a long time to cure, right? If you leave it on here for a long time, you might have to like push underneath it, because the top will skin over, but the paint underneath will be in a little bubble, and you can still use it. Just don't spread your paint out. A lot of people just spread their paint out over the palette, and then it dries almost instantaneously. So don't do it, man.
Swifter Bear, when basing, do you prime extra things like tufts of grass? I know Jason does that when he's doing it like to a certain level, right, Jason? You prime your tufts, your basing. You base
on most models,
all of it. Yeah.
On most models where I've done if it's not just like wargaming models, if I were to put tufts, so I have models here that have tufts that we haven't painted that are like at Space Marine level. When we were doing
but when you're
the
going
ogres
all out,
for Warcry, I didn't paint these. because I just painted the models and wanted to get the models done quick
Yeah.
for gaming. So this is just like, my tabletop level, and then you can just put them on there. But typically I would not do this. I would come back and with my brush on primer, prime these and paint them again. Even if I wanted them this color, I would prime and paint them this color, because this is fake, right? This does not have the same quality of visual as all of the paint I've done, so it stands out in a way that I don't like. So I would always say paint your stuff.
Here's a question for you from Call Me Moldzen. That's a longer one, so I'll let you read this one.
Oh, how do you decide the order of what to paint if using different techniques? It makes most sense to me to start with the stuff that requires layering, then some metallics, assuming true metallic, and then some weathering and special effects like plasma coils and highlights toward the end. But I can see people starting with metallics, for instance, and I'm not sure why, or is it just strongly dependent on preference and or geometry of the model? A lot of time, the way the model is done, I always say paint from the inside out. Go to the deepest parts of the model, usually the stuff close to the skin, or bones if it's a skeleton, right? So that you are bringing your brush away from finished paint towards unfinished paint. Because you can imagine, like on this, if I were to have painted all of this and needed to go back and paint in that neck, right? That would be an area that would be kind of off limits, right? Because that's going to be tough to get your paintbrush in and not get paint on the surrounding areas. So I'd paint the neck first, and then, the metal, and the metal on this only because it's underneath the ruffles of the collar, not because of anything having to do with the top of the head, but because there's a part of the metal that goes underneath everything else. Right? Now, when I did that, I also chose to paint the metal on the hands, which are the top part, and caused me problems when I wanted to go in and paint the sleeve, because now the sleeve goes in between the fingers. So in a perfect world, you would paint the head and then paint the sleeves and then paint the hands. But because I'm doing non-metallic metal and I want it to all fuse and look the same, I just do the areas that are the same material at the same time. And sometimes that can get you into weird positions. But that's my thinking on it. So geometry plays a big part on that. When you think you can get your brush to get the areas, like the inside of the sleeve or the cape here is probably better to paint before the sleeve. So you're not having to shove your brush up underneath there and get paint all over the sleeve color. If you're going to be doing any dry brushing, I like to do the part that I'm dry brushing first, because it's a messy process. You're being aggressive with the brush. And so if I know I'm going to wet blend, I wet blend first. Dry brush, I dry brush first. I say first. If you're using dry brushing to capture highlights, you can do it later as well. But if I'm using dry brushing to add more aggressive color on the model, I try to do those parts first, because you'll get the dry brush on everything around it, right? So that's my thinking.
Swifter Bear says, follow up, do you have to worry about clumping when using brush on primer?
No.
Not ours. Ours is magical.
No.
Our black brush on primer, if you haven't given it a whirl, it is magical.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
If you want to see an example, Vince used one in his videos not too long ago.
Any tips for painting black fur? I've tried grays, but just that it looks dull and makes it look gray and not black. I always suggest going and looking at our painting black armor video. Chris can link it for you. Do I have anything with black fur here? I have stuff with kind of a grayish black hair, although on her we were going for it to be, aging. Right. But still black, so it's darker black, and then it just goes in the highlights to a brighter gray. What else do we have that was black? Her hair here was black-ish, right? And on this we used Payne's gray over black as a starting point, and allowed the bluishness of it to kind of take over in the highlights, which it can, create an idea of black hair, black fur. I like that. So adding blues and purples into it works really, really well, so that it's not just dull black. It's the same thing I do with armor, right? So when I paint armor, using grays is a good way to get the values sketched on. So you have your brightness and your darkness, but I then go back over it with like a black wash or a transparent black to then bring it back down into a darker tone. You just want to make sure that you don't have a lot of your mid-tone show and take over the model, because the mid-tone is where you get all your grays. So if you're not careful, the model is just gray with dark black shadows instead of looking like black armor. Now, black, if it's shiny, is allowed to have brighter spots, but they need to turn into dark very quick. So you see, like, the shine on the arm is just a narrow band, and then it goes to black armor very quickly on either side. So a lot of that we talk about in terms of just painting various types of material, like what is it going to look like to create the shine or lack thereof. If you're doing fur, it can still be shiny. It can have like the oily shine of hair, but it could also be very dull. That's up to you.
Non-metallic Meatball says, can you sell us on Blood Angels? What made you choose them over another chapter? Also, what's the current workup on the cloth? You want to start
my
with
Blood Angels I chose just because it's bitching to paint red and a whole army of jump dudes.
That's it?
That's it.
Just
I
red
wanted
and
a whole
gold.
army of jump packs, and I don't like Raven Guard.
There you go.
Blood Angel Assault Troops, a bunch with jump packs, and I got on a real kick after reading a bunch of the Siege of Terra books where Sanguinius just was a badass, and I fell victim to the rah-rah fanboy club. I was like, dude, he is literally the master of war amongst the Primarchs. Had Horus not accepted chaos into his life, Sanguinius would have run roughshod on him. And it all happened in the time where, and I don't care about the Blood Angels necessarily. It was just in those books, and it was the particular point that I always talk about where they're in a Thunderhawk outside the gates, and I don't remember which gates they were fighting for. And Sanguinius and a couple of his Sanguinary Guard were in the Thunderhawk, and he was looking forlorn because he's seen the future of his death. And one of the Sanguinary Guard was like, "My lord, you shouldn't go fight. You know, we don't want you." You know, they were worried that was going to be the time that he died. And he looked at the guy. I think he had his helmet off. He looked at him. He goes, it's basically the "this is not that day" Viggo Mortensen talk, right? Mm. This is not that day, and then falls out of the Thunderhawk backwards and immediately destroys a Warlord Titan solo. And I was like, okay, I'm painting Blood Angels because that's just so cinematic and was such a really good pump you up kind of Space Marine moment, that wasn't just bolter porn. It was like, it was cool. And so, yeah, it finally painted Sanguinius as not the pretty boy that he's always been joked about. And so Blood Angels just became a thing for me. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Plus they also have a lot of really good units that I could forge on my own. And do some neat stuff like, intertwining blacks and reds and golds. And then I've got my Praetorian Guard that I kind of stole a little bit of the Sanguinary helmet look on. So, we're having a lot of fun with it, with the black, white, red, and gold combos. So I'm just playing around. And I'm really enjoying the army. I've got a lot of really fun stuff going on. I'll never finish it probably, but it's been a lot of fun.
Call me Molden. Isn't painting tufts quite problem? Oh, actually, before I get to the tufts, what about the cloth workup? That was the second part of that question.
What's that?
What's the current cloth workup that you got going on your Frameable?
Oh,
can you just bring us up to speed on that?
Good God, I don't remember, Chris.
It was
black. It was dark green brown.
Well, you did dark purple and then a taupe
orange
zenithal,
brown,
didn't you?
It was dark green brown, and then orange brown, and then I think I'd been mixing colors on top of that. Maybe not. I think it was dark ivory is the top color here.
There's some black red in there somewhere.
That's on the cloth.
On the cloth, right?
Did you want the insert panels or the red?
Oh, it just says work up on the cloth.
I consider this to be the cloth, but this is all mahogany to black red to burgundy to the wizard's butt color that's in the current wizard's butt set. That's kind of like a terracotta. This color.
Isn't painting tufts quite problematic due to the limited access to the deeper parts of the whiskers?
No, because they're very strong. So I just take a dry brush or a big brush loaded with primer and just jam it in to prime everything. And you'll know they'll all be black, right? And then when you paint the grass, you can't get paint down in the recesses, so that shadow makes them pop even more because it gives it really good contrast. Do I have any here that are painted?
I have not seen your painted tufts yet, but you don't do a lot of basing on models unless it's... Oh, that one. Yeah, there you go. Are those painted? He's looking, chat.
Those are painted?
Oh, those are painted, yeah.
And these are all painted.
Let's see.
Right, so these I primed with, with
there you go.
black brown because all of these were black synthetic brush hairs. and I wanted that dead grass feel, so they work great for that. So all of this was just little clumps. These weren't even tufts. This was the house brush with the black stuff that we made the lightning for Dante out of. And I just took clumps of them and glued them together, and then primed them black brown, and then painted them back up with straw colors, like yellow ochre and all the same colors that we painted in the background to keep the grass going into the background look. So that's the same mentality. And then I painted these green ones on here. And that was just prime black and then paint with various greens to get it back up to whatever color you want.
Do you remember the bronze workup on the Blood Angel Saturnine axe, Jason?
No, you're supposed to remember all of that stuff.
Me?
Yeah.
No, sir.
You had it. You were telling people.
All I know is that it's not done yet because we tried to do that video and Jason's like, we still got to do some more on that.
Yeah, I never finished it.
Why isn't it? But it looks good. It looks done.
It needs to go brighter.
You're wanting to.
I don't remember what it is though.
Oh yeah, you could go and check. It was actually
it has
all
the
in one day.
It has the petroleum brown or the brown gray wash over the top. I think maybe petroleum brown. I don't remember what it was. The video exists though.
If you go,
I would have to go back and watch the video to figure out what I did with it.
You go back. Where is it? If you go back on, it's August 6th and 7th. Those are the VODs you want to look up because that's when he painted those. So go back and look at that.
Yellow ochre time.
Any plans to paint Dante?
We have.
You have.
He's done.
He's done. Alex.
Well, he's not done. I didn't paint the base. He's done if I show you this part.
There you go. You don't even see the bottom. There you go.
This is my Dante.
This is my Dante.
There are many like him, but this one is mine. I also didn't paint the flame jump pack, so I guess he's not done. Damn it.
Ross Gregory, any plans on doing a What's in the Box video for the Wizard's Butt set? What's in the box? If that's what you mean.
No, not really. I mean, we've shown them off. Is that what you mean? We don't do the paint drawdowns on Wizard's Butt because they won't be around, right? It's a limited edition thing, so.
We've shown them on, we've shown them. So.
Those are Yndrasta's wings, by the way.
Yndrasta. Would you guys ever stream with a guest painter?
We do.
We do.
We did just a couple of weeks ago with Dallas from Atomic Mass Games.
Yep.
He'll be back on the show this month. He'll be painting while I'll be heckling him from the crowd.
Yep.
But yeah, we do it occasionally, not very often.
Yep. Yeah, several times. Yeah, we've
Punisher,
we've
you shush. People. There's no such thing as a DA100. That was a Chrisism.
I've never seen a DA100 in my life.
That's his handwriting on the DA100. On bag acryl.
I don't write that.
Oh, yes, you do. Trust me.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Jason not too long ago, but we will not be receiving a DA100 till 2054, and that's all I say about that.
This is my life, Chad.
Game delay. I'm trying to figure out what model I'll be painting with full Wizard's Butt workup. Ooh, game delay. That's a great. You should prime it in that blue. Okay, so now you're making a jump here. This is bright. No, this is just yellow ochre.
Yellow ochre.
I almost said bright.
But it's actually pretty thin. So while it looks like it's pretty bright going on, once it cures, it's going to die down a little bit because I've got a little bit more water on my brush than normal.
Game delay. I'm trying to think for you. Use the blue to base it. That's all I'm going to say. Use that as your shadow color, the sexy time blue. Stan
is
says,
it like haha fun sexy time blue or anything, or is it just sexy time blue?
It's midnight. It's almost like a midnight sexy time blue. I don't know. It's a cool blue though, and by cool blue, it's cool. Not necessarily cool temperature, but it is cool temperature technically. So it's a cool blue, a dark cool blue. There you go. Take that to the bank.
I won't.
Stan says, are you going to release more AMP paints alongside Atomic Mass, or is the series done?
I never say never. I do actually.
Never
so
say
that's a lie.
never.
I'm also a liar.
Never say never, but
But
he will.
I don't think so.
It's pretty dang complete.
Yeah,
You just need a black and a white.
Had,
You're good.
you know, it was really without, you know, it was a without having to go to war with Disney. It's basically a Star Wars set.
Disney.
You know, we just can't get the license to say that on the label. But yeah, it was basically all of the Star Wars colors.
Space battles.
Those desaturated colors that work really well in that environment. As I'm watching Andor last night, as a matter of fact, I was going through and being like, oh yeah, our colors nailed that. Oh yeah, got that. Andor has a really neat camera filter over it that turned kind of like they did with Chernobyl. Has a very good effect.
Yet.
You know, I've enjoyed it.
I've heard
There's some parts that are really dumb.
I've heard it's the best Star Wars anything.
That's
what
I mean,
I've heard.
when you couple it with Rogue One,
Yeah,
I think it makes for the best Star Wars series ever done, by far. But I'm into the intrigue and the politics and the more adult theme that it has, rather than space wizards and, you know, it still has good versus evil, but it's more in a package of you know, governance and freedom and things like that. So
Zilfer says, remember kids, if Jason says never enough times, he will tease you in redacting stream 6 months ago in the future. Zilfer, if that stream was 6 months ago, I've lost my mind, because it was not that long ago. And I don't know what you're talking about. Beep boop. We will not it's still out there. You can go watch it. No, you can't watch, well, technically that one, but Jason used the fun win-win paints. Man, we should
when Dallas was here,
we should name them that, Jason.
no, we shouldn't.
How do we do that?
We don't.
Fun win-win paints?
That's exactly what we don't do.
Dang.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That leads for some good branding. Hey, would you like some fun win-win paints? Here you go.
If you never want to be taken seriously again,
I think
name it fun win-win.
Throw business in there and we're good.
Fun win-win business paints.
There it is.
That's definitely the way to not ever sell anything to hobbyists.
Fun win-win business paints. Could you imagine?
No, I can't.
Chris, my joke was he never, for months and months before the stream. Oh, I see. I get it. He's never said never, but that's the joke, Silver. That he's never said never. He's never not said never. I don't know what to do for you anymore.
I have always said I won't do it unless I can do it better. And I stand by that.
Yeah. I would.
That has been our goal all along. You know, now we said we probably would never make paints.
And
that was
I am now
9
employed.
years ago. Jen and I said, why would we ever make paints? There's good paints out there except for white, and we made white. And then we found out that in order to keep making white, we had to start making all the other colors because the economy of scale didn't work right for just one. And then all of a sudden it led us down this crazy road of, oh, well, we'll only make 96 colors. And that was a lie. Now we're at 150 something and got more coming out.
Chris Signature Paint Set Edition. Fun, win-win, serious business black. There you go.
Never.
Little Billy, now you're thinking.
Never. Hey, Little Billy,
thinking.
You were one of our top viewers this year. I want to reach out and say thank you.
Jason, aren't you going to do a fun thing about all that?
Well, when the year's actually done,
yeah.
Why would they come out with that at the end of November?
Well,
Are Twitch just idiots?
Isn't there a reason for that, though? What's the reason that they do that?
Because they're idiots? Because it usually comes out in January.
No, Spotify's does. Why did they do that?
They're idiots.
It's
not even the end of the year. Idiots.
Why do they, though? I need an answer. Help.
I mean, one of the months where people are home more out of the entire month is December for the holidays, but let's not include that information there. Idiots.
What?
That's all I'm saying.
Huh.
I looked at Jen and I said, it's not even the end of the year yet. What's going on here?
It's not. What a long year, chat. Long.
I typically don't see those until January.
Eclectic salmon. Hashtag still waiting, says Lumberjack.
Yep.
Do you have a response for that?
I said,
Jason?
yep. And you will continue to wait. With that attitude, you wait forever. Ah!
Awkwardish says it's October through October with Twitch.
Jason, why didn't you release Eclectic Salmon? Because they kept asking for it.
Am I on the list? I haven't seen this list. I'll have to look at it.
Is that what they're saying? They do it October to October?
That's what Awkwardish said, yeah. They do the recap. Oh, 11/1 through October 31st. Why, though?
Because that makes no sense at all.
Why, Awkwardish?
That's not a year. That's not a year anywhere.
Let's get Twitch on the phone, Awkwardish, and ask
That's
why.
not a fiscal
What are we
year.
doing? Wait a minute. Community visitor stream recaps an eligible window for activity occurred between October 31st, 2024 and October 31st, 2025.
Idiots.
What?
I'm going to say it. Put me on record, idiots. Why can't you just make it January to December like the freaking calendar?
Baldman says, I know you guys are working on the new Sable brushes. No rush, obviously, but wasn't sure if you guys have a window when you're looking to get them out by.
Oh, I was hoping Black Friday.
Oh.
We missed that one. Soon-ish. They should be. I mean, I've been saying they're testing the printer. It's just taking forever. Every time we go to test the printer, we got to have something else. Something is $25,000 printer can't get working. So I'm very frustrated with it. It will be soon. I know the guys over in production are more frustrated than I am because every time they go to turn it on, it's like, you need this. Well, it doesn't say that in the manual. Well, we're sorry.
Well, go get it anyway. D-Fresh, Jason should have used the line, chat, you're not my dad, when we asked for new paints.
But my dad doesn't ask for new paints.
But you're not my dad.
I won't do it. I shan't.
Joshua Lee says October because donations and sales go way up in the holiday season. It's weird overall. Interesting.
There's nothing that will convince me. I don't really have any skin in the game. I don't care.
Oh,
I just like to know because we run a business, so we're very different than a lot of the people that are looking at their stuff. I want to know during the course of this year as a business, what has gone on Twitch.
Oh, you know what's interesting, Mo? Mo has a really good suggestion, Jason.
Never.
Mo says, did you guys try turning it off and back on?
Which?
The printer.
Oh, dang it. Get him on the horn.
I'm so sorry.
Get
But
Jesse on the horn right now.
if that hasn't
Jesse.
been done, could
Jesse,
you imagine?
turn it off
Could
and
you
turn it back
imagine
on.
if we turned it back on and turned it off? If it actually worked. Wait a minute.
That's not how the real
Mo,
world works.
thank you so much for the unplug it for 30 seconds, then plug it back in, says T. Schmidt. It's like a router. Oh.
No, so I'll give you an idea. This has been going on for years. We bought that printer years ago. It's a hugely expensive printer. It's a UV curing ink printer, basically a huge CNC inkjet, right? It's like $25,000, $30,000, something like that. Been sitting around in wraps on a table for all the years while we haven't been able to get our focus to get to the brushes, right? So pain in the butt. Destroys me every time knowing that we spend all that money, it just sits there. Because I know how cantankerous electronics are. So one of my big fears was, okay, well, when we go to turn it on, is it going to work? And of course, it hasn't been, but it's not because of its age. It's because it's
Complicated.
It's complicated.
It's an amazing
And it's a
machine.
Japanese printer that is the best in the world, but it gets lost in translation with instructions because the translated instructions make no sense in a lot of cases. So we are having to fight through that. And then when you talk to a tech, they don't really service them through the customer. They want you to have a tech come out. But somehow we have gotten to be able to get a local tech to give us some pointers, and then he's coming out and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
during this whole time, it's been like, yeah, that's a little weird. So it's like, why do we get the weird ones? Why?
Little Billy says, have you tried speaking to the machine in Japanese?
Yes.
Yes.
Except none of us know Japanese, so we don't know what we're saying.
Maybe that's our problem.
We've been allowing Google Translate to do it for us. Is that okay?
Man.
Hey,
that's why-
Siri,
No.
ask what the problem is in Japanese.
Little Billy says I'm all out of ideas. Speaking of all out ideas,
Welcome, everybody.
we're so glad you're here. We're
But
painting
Christopher, Little Billy showed up as as one of our top fans.
up. Well, I wonder
Most
why.
watched hours on the stream, Little Billy.
Little Billy, and you've been missing. Well, no, you had your little hiatus, and then you wiggled your way back in here.
He was above some other people. He was T. Schmidt takes like top honors.
T. Schmid, Mo, Lumberjack's probably up there.
Mo wasn't on there. Tim
Mo?
was on there.
Mo and Tim weren't on there?
Mo and Tim were not on there.
What?
We
Because
were
Little
we were
Billy-
on Tim's top watched.
Oh, there you go.
I saw him post that. That's awesome. But they didn't compare to T. Schmidt and Little Billy.
I'm a fan.
And believe it or not, the other top 5, because it only shows you the top 5, and the other top 3, I don't believe I've ever chatted, which was pretty crazy. Not names I've ever recognized, which I thought was really cool.
Is it just time watched?
It's just time
I know
watched,
There's
yeah.
lurkers in there.
It's just time watched.
Wouldn't it be funny if
But it was a lot
like
of people in our top 5. 3 of our top 5 were names I did not recognize. T. Schmidt and Little Billy were there.
Could you imagine if it was just like if on our top 5, like who's really watching us, lurkers?
If it just outed everybody.
It's just like, huh?
Yeah, like I won't mention the names of the people
Sure.
that don't talk just because if I don't know your name, I assume you want to lurk and that's fine. We have no problems with that. We hope that we are giving you good content and that you are enjoying yourself. Or if you're spying for one of our competitors, that we're giving you all the false information you can handle.
And if you are one of them out there watching, welcome in. I hope you're painting too. Old Gamer says, is a paint palette with all holes good to use with Pro Acryl, or do you need to use a glass/wet palette?
A paint palette with what?
With all the holes?
All the holes? You mean like the little
Oh,
dishes in it? Like an aluminum one?
I use one of those.
Yeah, you can use those.
That's what I use primarily in my travel
Like
bag.
the little tin ones and stuff. They travel really neat.
Well, that's what I used.
The silicone ones.
That's what I used on when I was streaming, when I was painting my stuff while Jason was gone.
You can use whatever kind of palette you want,
Just throw it on the table.
so long as it is something you can clean acrylic paint off of, is the only thing I would say. To take it a step further, you can use like those metal ones, and one thing that will really help is they make a spray-on silicone, right? That is made not like really as a non-stick surface thing, but kind of. You can get that spray silicone and spray the metal palette and then use the acrylic paint on it, and you can like peel the paint off of the metal at the end of the day. Makes it a lot easier to clean. Keeps it from, turns it into kind of like a non-stick pan surface, which is nice.
Gopher says, I'd like to transfer all my Pro Acryl paints directly to Citadel pots, then paint directly from those. Interesting choice. Hey, to who's their own? To who's their which?
That's a brave one.
That's a brave one. I use the little tin, and then I take our
Unfortunately, those Citadel pots are built to fail.
I also take the our matte gray spray can primer and reprime it.
You
That's all I
reprime
do.
the can?
No, the little the little tin with the holes, my palette.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
I just
yeah.
reprime it. That thing is caked up.
I was going to say, did they eventually fill the holes in?
Actually, yes, it did. I haven't missed a day since the beginning of the year. Wow. Then Lumberjack, I don't know what to tell you, man. Some of those other people.
I don't know that. I don't know, Tim. I don't know how you weren't, because it showed up as being the top one on your end, and I was like, why weren't you the top one? I don't believe the Twitch numbers, by the way. If you mute a stream, you don't get viewer credit.
If you mute it?
Yeah, if you have a stream muted, they no longer give you viewer credit, because too many people were view botting by just having it muted on tons of computers or tons of open tabs.
What do you mean muted?
So if you mute the stream,
Just like,
if you're not listening,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you've heard this word mute?
No, I know what mute means, obviously. I meant more of like, is it just purely a volume thing, or do you have to be typing? That's what I was asking.
No, if you mute it and aren't listening, then it doesn't give you
I
viewer
see.
credit.
Got you. Interesting. I didn't know that.
So if you have it on at work or something and you mute it in the background, I don't know how the timing on that goes.
How does it
but
know if your phone is muted or not?
If you mute the stream, not if you
Oh.
mute physically, then it can't know.
Because
But if
I'm
you
like,
mute the button on
whoa.
the stream, which is the way you would mute it,
Right. You can mute tabs. Yeah, I see what
you're
you're
not
saying.
going to turn your whole
Awkward-ish.
phone off because you got Twitch on. You're going to mute Twitch
Right.
and then let your phone still ring, probably, if
Yeah.
that's what you're doing. I don't know. You're not going to ever get around all that stuff, but just some things you learn as you go through it that they don't want
Interesting.
people to be able to buffer their stream numbers. It's
Jamie-
probably important to them because of the ad campaign stuff.
Yeah. It must be like that's the way they can tell their ad buyers or whatever, the people who want to have ads on there.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's like, hey,
Trying to
here's-
treat Twitch like a business that knows how to run itself is a losing proposition.
What Punisher's saying, what was the hour range that top 5 is sitting?
It doesn't tell you that as a streamer. I don't think it tells you the amount of hours. I think they consider that to be personal information. They don't want you to go out and say, dude, no lifer, touch grass.
Kenny's saying pale pink jewels would be awesome. What color are you doing these jewels on her? Have you thought that far ahead?
No. Blue was my initial thought.
Hmm.
But we had talked about jade, like actual stone jade or turquoise that has like veining in it. So I could do some cool freehand. And layering. So that's a thing.
There you go.
You know, zoom in a little closer. People can see how the orange and the yellow are working
Jade?
together.
Blue would be probably really cool, huh? On those jewels.
I like the idea of a bluish green, like that jade, like, you know, like a turquoisey. Jade's always the answer.
Lumberjack says, I suggest jade.
When you never know what color a detail needs to be, the answer is jade. Always jade.
Tells me, Little Billy says, it tells me how many hours I watch on my end. We have all that stats.
Yeah,
on
I
our
just don't think
back.
it tells us.
Yeah, it doesn't tell us which. It doesn't give us the hours. I don't think.
Probably some privacy concern or something.
We can see it. The overall total on our side. Awkwardish says, also, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to make all of those colors part of the line? Because they're all lovely. Did a lot of painting with Wizard's Butt this morning. Awkwardish.
It's not unheard of. I would have to mix them again.
Which then wouldn't make them exact? Question mark.
No, but close enough.
Close enough. There you go.
Because when mixed with the pigments the way that we do it for Wizard's Butt, it's not ever gonna give me the same overall stability as going from scratch. Fewer pigments, right? Because the paints that we have there have duplicate pigments in some of the hues that we mix together.
Mo says, speaking of ads, does anyone else think the CEO of Red Lobster looks like he should be running something in tech? Mo, why do you... That's so specific.
Didn't he? Wasn't he a... what did he do?
Well,
He's a young guy.
Did he recently come up in the news or something?
Well, yeah, because he's pulled out, unless they've sold it again. The young guy
Interesting.
that has brought them back into relevance came out of nowhere.
Huh.
He went and got a firm to back him to get it back open, I think. Didn't he?
I don't know. I don't follow.
It's a pretty good story. I don't remember the details, but
follow
it's a
the
good
Red
story, and he's
Lobster story
a
arc.
brilliant young guy. But I thought he came from tech, didn't he? Maybe not.
Mo says, yep, he's fairly young. Interesting. He's the guy who's bringing it back.
Yeah.
Is that the deal? I heard that part.
Yeah, because they went into bankruptcy
Not
and
enough
shut down a bunch of places.
giving away too much of that those crab cakes.
It's those cheddar biscuits.
That's what put him out.
So
of business?
Jen bought the whatever it's called cheddar biscuit mix that was the Red Lobster cheddar biscuit mix
Okay.
to make the biscuits for our Thanksgiving
Oh.
because we love the cheddar biscuits like
There you go.
everybody. And she bought the cheddar biscuit mix, and guess what?
What's that?
Guess what? It doesn't come with.
Cheddar.
You got it. You have to supply your own cheese for the cheddar biscuit mix. And I go, isn't that just biscuit mix then? He goes, well, there was a bag of spices, but I didn't use that either.
Okay, well then that's okay, that's just making biscuits and putting cheese in it.
Yeah,
The
I was like, it's
spices
just
are the-
biscuit mix, especially if we didn't even use the spice packet that came with it, because it came with like some garlicky spice pack, garlic and onion spice pack or something like that. So literally, it's the best marketing ever. It's just biscuit mix.
Interesting.
It's just like Bisquick in a box that says like Cheddar Bay cheesy biscuits or whatever their brand is.
Speaking of biscuits,
I won't.
do it.
I won't.
You have to.
I don't.
I have to get this train back on the tracks.
I don't.
Welcome in, everybody. We're
There,
painting
see?
up a frameable.
If you hold out long enough, he'll do it on his own.
We're painting a frameable. I have to. I got to keep this train going. This is the Duchess Prime, number 2. Number 2.
I think so.
I think so. One of our new
Zambies
frameables.
is painting a
I
Krogan throne.
know. She sent that over in our whip on our Discord. I'm like, what? Looks so cool.
Yeah,
I think she
tuned
added
into the
hair.
stream yesterday when she started him. She was doing the
She added some hair too, I think.
jade and all that. Looked really good.
Yeah, it's super cool. So if you haven't checked those out, go check them out on our website, which is right here. Because I have a beautiful link. Oh, bam. And if you're in the EU, it's right there. Go check those out. Right now, he's painting the gold. This is yellow ochre for all of you who just woke up or who are just now tuning in from whatever side of the world. Because I know some of you earlier were saying it was super late. So if you're, I love that
In
some
Europe-
of you are just now waking up and just now going to bed.
We get that all the time.
Crunk and Thrug are going to be the first one I do. It's a great sculpt, says Awkwardish. Yeah, they're dope. I'm sorry, that's too hip. They're super swell.
Is that what the kids are saying?
That's what the
Super
kids are saying.
swell?
They're super swell. They're very fun sculpts. So grab them while they're hot, hot, hot.
I think the Duchess. It's hard, man, because
Which
these are
one's your
all
favorite?
These are all my designs, so
Which
it's
one's your
hard. But I think
favorite?
the Duchess is my favorite.
You think so?
I think it translated to sculpt tremendously. They all did great, but Francesco's amazing, and Ricardo's artwork, it just killed it. Ricardo's working on another project for us that I can't wait to show off, but it'll be a while. Some actual wargaming scale miniatures that we'll be doing with him that are right now being very, very cool. I just have some preliminary sketch work. I did a sketch, sent it off to him. He returned his first sketch back, and it nailed it. So we've got the direction we want to head in, which is good.
Nice.
Those will be a lot of fun to show off. And to paint. Oh, my God.
You need to teach us how to paint little faces, Jason. That's what I need
I've
help.
shown you how to paint little faces for years.
I
dude.
want you to do it again.
Years.
Like really
Literal
do it.
Years.
We want you to do that again. And by we I mean them. And by them I mean me. Little faces, that's the tough one for me, chat. Call Me Moses says Wargaming minis, can't wait.
The wargaming scale.
Which is 32 mil?
Yeah, they're going to be like 32 to 33. I want them to be kind of big. There'll be a male sci-fi-ish one, a alien-ish creature, can't give away too much, and then a female fantasy-ish one that are all tied together, believe it or not. They all kind of work together, and there's a story behind it that we are going to be doing for some really cool interactive stuff with the paint sets. Should be fun.
And hey everybody, rushed home today for butt sets. Nice.
How dare you? What kind of channel do you think this is, sir?
It's one of them. It's one of those channels, I guess.
Out of all the painting channels in the world, this is one of them. Hope everybody's week is going well. Thanks for hanging out, watching some paint dry with us.
Lumberjack, you got yours today too. Yep. Orders are coming in. We're catching up.
Oh. If only that were true.
No, it is, Jason. It's all a mindset.
No, it's not just a mindset.
Oh, it is.
It's not just a mindset.
Chad, I tried.
I love the positivity.
I'm trying to, man. Just trying to. It's all mindset. Why it's really hot or cold, burr. You know? Little faces wind up looking like burnt victims. I know. I suffer the same thing too.
Just because you can't get all of the colors to read correctly in a small space, or your color choices are not really working for you.
I think it's the first part, because what I try to do...
A lot of time with faces, you're trying to get a lot of color in a tight area, and you wind up covering up colors to where it doesn't look like you've used the colors you use. Is that a fair statement?
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, so we can help you out that.
That's because I tried to do your thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to start with some royal purple, then I'm going to get some red oxide.
Don't underpaint faces at small wargaming scale first. Okay. Learn how to get your values and colors reading correct first.
Interesting.
Then start playing around with the underpainting stuff. Underpainting, while not necessarily super advanced to get it right, is still something that is more advanced than just painting a face.
Right.
Right. And part of painting at scale, and when I say that, I mean at small scale like we do, chat, is getting the ability to put the right amount of paint in the right places. Right. And that's the first thing you need to get good at. Is it in a small, tight area of a face? How are you doing with being able to get the right amount of paint showing to make the cheeks highlighted properly, right? Because no matter if you're underpainting and glazing or just layering like normal, if you can't do that, the face will never look right. And the underpainting method won't save you from that. So
interesting. I have to.
So we can definitely take some time. You know, we can stop at any time on her and go into painting a small face if we can get the miniature together, Chris. I don't mind.
At some point, maybe we'll do that this week. We'll find one, maybe like a Star Wars Legion,
like on Friday.
Yeah, we could do that.
Cool. I do have some Legion models,
and I'll record it because I'll need to.
I've got.
You've got a couple face, any face, because
I mean, we've got, as long as we don't care. This guy's alien face is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm painting a halfling.
Except we probably want to. I probably want to do it in like Caucasian style coloring first.
That one,
and then we can move into alien and dark flesh, because it's the Caucasian flesh gives you the ability to get all your highlights and shapes defined in volumes. Alien flesh will too, but if I do it in blue or red or green like the Star Wars guys, then it might not translate for people being into painting flesh.
I think that's it. That one face you just pulled up with the guy with the hat, I think is perfect.
Okay, we'll figure one out.
We'll figure it out, chat.
I don't like the idea that he has a hat because it causes a bunch of shade on the face.
Oh, that's a good point. There's a couple. We'll figure it out. Stan says, how do you think you do... Oh, sorry, let me go back. Stan says, do you think you do another thing like a wizard's butt and a sail, or are you worried for your staff's safety as you didn't realize how savage we all are?
Well...
Never say never.
You know, you learn as you go. I won't say we would never do another sale, but it would have to be something special. We don't believe in that. And this is going to sound very old school to a lot of you, and you might laugh, and it may not make the best business sense, but my mentality is that I want for our products, since they're consumables, right? You use paint up, and then you need more paint. And, you know, think if you couldn't buy toilet paper until it was on sale, right? You need to be able to buy the consumable when you need the consumable, and I want our paint to always feel like it's the best value when you need it. Not that if, hey, you needed that paint to finish your army in October, that you're like, but if I just wait, Black Friday will come. So we want to be careful about that. We never want anybody to really feel bad. We've already had some feel bads. You know, people are like, you never run sales. I bought my stuff last month, and then you run a 20% off. So it's already a feels bad for us because we're like, God dang it. You know, you can't fault them because we've sat on it for years saying, yeah, we don't run sales. And we just thought this would be fun. Typically, we run shipping promos on Black Friday, but the shipping promos don't translate really well. Not everybody gets the benefit. If you're only buying one paint, then the shipping promo doesn't really give you a big discount.
We also had 2 new releases, and we did it for a week.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just one day.
Yeah, so it's been crazy.
It just ended 2 days ago. Our sale ended 2 days ago. So,
but will we do it again? There's a chance, yeah. It would be stuff like, you know, annually, like on Black Friday kind of a deal.
Awkwardish. Jason,
I'm not trying to do it.
Doing great, and if customers fussing, tell them to stop. You're all great. getting stuff out fast right now, and then most companies do it slower for seasons. Yeah, hey, we appreciate that, Awkwardish. Thank you.
It's tough. Thank you.
We are doing our best.
We just weren't prepared. We have always, as a small business, been very bad at estimating on things like this what the impact would be. It's just true, right? We've always been bad at it. When we release new paints, we're always like, oh, well, let's do double what we did last time. It'll be fine. And it's never fine. And so it's just one of those that's frustrating. Why can't we get good at it? It's because you guys and the demand that you place always far outpaces our expectations, and that's fantastic. We love you for it. Thank you. I had no idea going into this when Kyle, our sales manager, actually was the guy that came up and he was like, we should do a Wizard's Butt set. And a lot of us fought him on it. We were like, nah. Jen and I didn't like the idea at first. Gabe didn't like the idea at first. And then when he kept pressing and saying, look, I think it works. Here's why. And we were like, all right,
it's an opportunity. So it's an opportunity for
it's been great. Everybody, the bulk of people have had a lot of fun with it. The naysayers are people who don't really know us as a company anyway and don't understand what it was all about. That, it's not a money grab. It's a fun way to interact with people who knew what Wizard's Butt was already. And some people that they were like, I have no idea what Wizard's Butt is, but I bought it because they look like great colors.
That's it. That's all we meant. Like, by it. It's fun.
But it's been fun. So yeah, we always like to have fun and try new things. And we don't like to do it at anybody's expense, so hopefully nobody feels that way. And we'll see.
Sugar Rush, keep that guy around. We'll keep him around.
What guy?
Kyle.
Kyle's a good guy. Kyle's been here 3 years now.
I only naysay Chris. The rest of the company and product is perfect, says
2 years?
Agrippa. Oh, Agrippa.
I understand.
You buried me. That's okay.
I understand.
I'll take the bullet.
Thought it was a sling and arrow.
Oh, it was a sling and arrow. I take those and I protect Jason from them. My job here.
You don't protect me from anything.
I don't know, man. I think I do.
From what? From chat?
The slings, the arrows.
How long did I deal with chat before you even existed in my life?
Not long enough.
No, not long enough. Wait a minute.
Oh, I grabbed some Wizard's Butt last night, says Bill Robertson. And I got some resin that I've been eyeing. Nice. Cool.
What's going on, Bill?
That's awesome. Good stuff, man. That's great. Yeah, we don't do it. We learned a lot, I think. By we, I mean you, and by you, I mean everybody. Chat. We don't really do that.
Don't really do what?
Just like that big, we don't do sales, obviously, like we were just saying, and release 2 new products while on sale.
Yeah, think about how crazy that was. 2 new products, and we released them to the sale and put them on sale. People were like, are the new stuff on sale too? Is it supposed to be that way? I was like, yeah. I do like that, right? I do like
well, that was kind of a fun thing.
To get it out, especially with the Frameable, so that people feel more inclined to give it a shot. So I did like that. And we sold a hell of a lot of Frameables. So that's good. I'm more excited to see what everybody does with them when we start seeing the painting. Like seeing Zambi start hers was great.
New butt sets even made the rounds of many Discord channels that I did not normally talk about such things. Nice. That's how it goes.
That's awesome. We've already heard our competitors ripping us off, so must be working.
Old gamer, in the Wizard's Butt set, there's a kind of dark burgundy / dark plum.
Yeah.
And how can you compare that paint to them? It's kind of like that, right? It's like a dark plum, or actually
somebody said it was a dark plum. It's very gray, believe it or not.
Gray?
Yeah, it's very desaturated. So it is. It's a great color.
It kind of does look like a mix of dark burgundy and dark plum, but with some gray. Oh, interesting.
Right. So it's very desaturated. You lose a lot of what would normally make it more blue. If it were one of the burgundies or like the plum. So almost, I dread to say brown because it's not brown, but the gray makes it more of that kind of a color because of the desaturation. again, as Chris was saying earlier, just a fantastic shadow color. Really.
Well, the whole set, the terracotta one a little bit different. The terracotta one is a really cool skin color.
It's it's just a great color.
Yeah, interesting. It's like a dark brown plum, says
Yeah.
Awkwardish. Dark brown plum.
Dark
That's a
brown plum, not the way we would call that, but yes.
I don't get it. the
This is kind of like a.
that's what Awkwardish
It would
is saying.
it would be a good color over the top of mahogany on something like what we did here,
Oh, I see.
right?
Yeah.
Where the burgundy went more red, this would keep it more in a desaturated palette.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Need my eyes.
It does look like a little bit dark brown. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool color. It's a wizard's butt color. That's what color it is.
Wizard's butt are colors where they, it lets us play with stuff that might be a little closer to other colors in the line and give you kind of a neat color that we normally have to mix or blend. That we wouldn't release it out as part of the main set because it's too close in some cases to other colors. But all of these register really well with the main line. The terracotta, the dark blue-green one, all the greenish ones are fantastic.
Dungeon Tales grape. Interesting. It is like a grape. Right here's our Discord challenge link. Or not Discord challenge, but this is our Discord link. There you go. Factor right there.
I love how I'm spending more time on the part that you can see the least on the model over anything else. Because hopefully it'll have some of the biggest impact. This will be some of the brightest stuff on the model still.
Right there. Yep, that's our Discord link. Oh, blam.
Koblam or Kublam?
Dealer's choice at this
Okay.
point.
Just checking.
What are you gonna put on this yellow ochre? What's the next jump? Are you gonna go
I don't
back
know.
and are you gonna do something to that to make it? Because it's not metal, it's gold though. So
well,
would it have the
I treat it
same-
as gold thread.
Would it have the same reflective qualities?
100%. You've seen tinsel before, right, Mr. Christmas?
Oh, was that a dig?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying I'm appealing to your Christmas sensibilities.
did you just call me out for liking Christmas?
I did. No, it
Mr.
wasn't a call out. It was a recognition that you would recognize
It was
what
your
tinsel is and what metallic thread looks like.
It was your tone of voice.
Well, you know what?
That's
what you get,
tone of
Chris.
voice. Do you hear them, chat?
all I got.
Mr. Christmas.
All I got for
Dang.
you, Mr. Christmas.
Buried alive publicly. All right, well, I guess there's something after that. I'm curious to see. Are you do like bright yellow ochre, or are you gonna do like bright pale yellow?
Over the top of this, I'm probably more inclined to do something that it brings it more in line with yellow gold. Remember, I'm doing this more warm, like Jordan would do. So whereas the yellow ochre is a great way to transition from the orange, I'm gonna maybe do a glaze of. I could even do a glaze of yellow transparent on this. Before I go to highlights, or do the highlights and then do a glaze. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just playing. The yellow ochre is a great color in the midtones for your non-metallic gold, but it is not very yellow, right? When you do it thin over something like orange like this, it starts to desaturate everything pretty nicely.
Stephen, no, you do not remove the little O-ring gasket,
Not
the little
at all.
foam gasket.
That
so
is
no.
the seal.
Good question, though.
Only take out the protective seal on the top of the bottle. Sometimes the O-ring sticks to it when you take the top off for the first time. But make sure you keep the O-ring, shove it back up in the top of the bottle.
Kalman says, priming question.
Yeah.
I'm finding that my primer will rub off on the miniatures. They're cleaned prior with soap and water. Is there a trick that I'm missing to keep primer on?
Couple things. Don't ever clean your miniatures. Plastics, resins, even metals are porous. And putting soap on them is one of the worst things you can do. Because that soap will go into those pores and you won't be able to get it off. You'll rinse it off, and unless you give it days to evaporate off of there and stuff, it can leave like an oily contaminant in the model. So I never clean miniatures in my, almost 50 years of painting now, 48 years of painting. The amount of times I've cleaned miniatures I can count on one hand, and it was because of really bad resin miniatures that had so much of the mold release on them that looked like they were covered with baby powder. And even then, I'll just take a wet sponge and or brush and wipe that stuff off under warm water. I'll never use soap. Okay.
Yeah.
I strongly suggest never cleaning any of your miniatures with soap. It shouldn't take anything more than water and a rinse to get them clean. And most miniatures don't even need that. I've shown many times on the channel that going through and doing a light dusting of primer to make sure that you don't have to even worry about it. The second thing, so if I can implore upon you not to clean your miniatures, you just wipe them off if you feel like they're dirty or have hand oil on them. You don't have to use soap. Again, just warm water and then towel dry them. That way the water evaporates very quick and you're not left with any contaminants in or on the model. The second thing is when priming, never try to coat the model in one coat. A lot of people make the mistake both with airbrush and with rattle can to just cover the model and cover it, right? And I say one coat. That with a rattle can it can be back and forth, but just keeping the trigger down and spraying it until it's all black, let's say. Bad idea. What happens with paint? Let me use a magic card, folks. I love using the magic cards.
Here comes the cards.
Right?
The magic cards.
This is very important to understand about all paints, and it really comes to play when mixing mediums. So if you're using acrylics and enamels and oils or things like that, I'm going to explain to you why you can't put acrylics over the top of enamels and oils as easily as you can do the opposite, okay? Acrylic paints, water-based acrylic paints dry very quickly, right? We all know this. They dry up on the palette, they dry up on the model very quick because they're water, right? And the water as a solvent evaporates quickly, generates the heat through evaporation that polymerizes the resin, and then the resin is cured. You're done, right? So you don't have to wait any longer than it takes the water to fully evaporate. The problem is, so if you put on layer 1 of paint, right? So I have layer 1 of paint. This is my first coat of primer that I put on, right? It should be thin, right? And it should be allowed to cure. It will cure very quickly. And what happens as paint cures is you have gases release out of the paint through evaporation, right? From whatever the solvent is, alcohols, enamel, lacquer, right? Water, whatever it is. Those gases release, generate heat, and make this turn into plastic, a layer of plastic. The acrylic resin turns into a thin layer of plastic over the model. Great, we all understand that, okay? That's how paint works. Now, if you put another layer of paint on before it is dry, what happens to those gases? They get trapped underneath this layer of paint, okay? So if you put a coat of paint on, this one's not dry, put another coat of paint on, this one's still trying to dry and that gas is starting to come through, it will cause bubbles or it will crack the paint to push itself through, right? The pressure that's generated here will destroy the top layer of paint, okay? And one thing that it also does is it makes this layer of paint not stick. Like this layer of paint won't stick because this layer of paint is off-gassing, causing this one to gain no adhesion, okay? So if you cover, and this doesn't mean put a layer on, wait, put another layer on, that can have that effect, but think about it when you spray paint on there heavy, what happens first is that now you have what we'll call a very thick amount of paint, right? Let's draw it like this. This is a thick layer of paint. This is 2 thin layers of paint, layer 1 and layer 2, okay? It can still happen here if you don't let layer 2, or I was backwards, right? This would be layer 1. This would be layer 2, okay? If layer 1 is not allowed to dry, it will affect layer 2 because the gases will still happen. This is if enamels, oils, lacquers are put on the model, they take longer to cure. If you put acrylic that cures very fast, it traps the gases that'll crack. It's called orange peel, if you've ever heard that in the automotive world. If you put a layer of paint down on a car, and cars get multiple layers of paint. You can't just put one layer of paint on a car. It would never work. So multiple layers of paint, but if you don't let each layer cure fully, then the next layer of paint will get what's called orange peel because the layer underneath it is still trying to dry and cracks that upper layer, and it can ruin an entire paint job. Okay, because you can't do anything except wet sand it down and start over. Okay, so this is why acrylic on top of enamels and lacquers and stuff and oils can be bad, because the acrylic will dry super fast, trap the gas, then crack and not adhere and give you bad finish. So always let this, if this is acrylic and this is acrylic, it should be able to do one layer, let that cure a couple minutes, then another layer, you're fine, let that cure, then another layer, another layer, another layer. That's how we paint, right? And you'll be fine. Just don't let it, don't immediately pile up a lot of paint like this. We'll consider this to be thick paint, okay? Thick paint, this layer starts to dry really quick, the part that's touching air, right? It's like the bubble of paint or the droplet of paint on your palette. The droplet of paint, you've all experienced it. It will seem like it's dry, but if you poke a hole in it, there's still wet paint underneath. Know what I'm saying? On your palette, that droplet will turn into like an M&M, and it'll have like, I always say it's like queso at the restaurant, Chris, right? Because, you know, the queso will get a skin. You can actually like grab it and pull the skin of the queso on, and underneath it is still delicious melted cheese.
Right.
But that top layer gets a little gummy. Same thing with paint. This top layer will dry, right? And underneath it is all this delicious wet paint. I did not just say that. Clip that. Don't clip that. Anyway, you have a lot of wet paint underneath that's still trying to dry, but now you have a shell on top, and the shell will never adhere. It floats on this wet paint, and that's why your primer rubs off. You've put it on too thick. The bottom layer that's actually touching the model, right, doesn't have time to dry before the top dries, and now this paint underneath it never really cures, or by the time it cures, this paint just slides on top, and when you rub it, it pulls it all off. Make sense? And I don't mean people look at this and go, I'm not putting a ½ inch of paint on my model. It's not much, right? It doesn't have to be much to trap a layer of paint. This is microns thick. So when spraying, make sure your first pass just puts a dusting, we call it. You want the primer to just put a bunch of dots of paint all over your model. And on a gray plastic, you want to still be able to tell the model was gray after your first pass. Just a quick one and done. Turn the models around. Or with the airbrush, same thing. Make sure you get all the angles, but nothing turns black if using black primer, white or gray if using those. And then let that cure for a second, give it a couple minutes, and then do it another layer. It'll start to darken up, front and back, up and down, and then let that cure, and then a third layer, front and back, up and down. And by the time you're done, airbrush, brush, or rattle can, you will have a much better adhesion because each layer has locked onto the substrate beneath it. The first layer locks onto the model, second layer locks onto the first layer, third layer locks onto the second layer. Now you have the best prime coat you can get. This is the way professionals do automotive and everything else. Multiple layers. In the automotive world, it's different because they'll wet sand each layer first. They'll prime it, then they'll sand it smooth. Prime it, sand it smooth, prime it, sand it smooth, so you don't get any irregularities in the surface, because you're talking about big flat surfaces. If it ripples, light will show you, and it'll be a bad paint job. In our world, you don't have to worry about that, but there you go.
Rocket Chicken TV. Been out of the scene for a bit, but back with a vengeance. What's up, Jason?
Rocco, I knew it, and I apologize. I should never say that. I'm fired.
98 months. Wow. There you go.
As long as it dries, is it okay to speed the process? Yes, don't use the hot side of your blow dryer. Use the unheated side of your blow dryer. It's better to use the room temperature air, not the hot air.
There you go.
The hot air can generate too much heat in the polymerization process, and the acrylic can start to spread, melt, right?
Yeah, Agrippa, I'll take that heat. Sure.
No, Christopher.
That's what I got to do.
I thought you were supposed to protect them from me.
I am. That's why I said you can blame me, chat.
Rogue Leader said they just didn't want the secret that it's delicious to get.
I know.
Stop
He
it.
says the paint's delicious once, and now all things are gone.
Telma says, to clarify priming, that first layer needs to be how long to let the gases evaporate. If you're using a water-based acrylic like our airbrush primers, it's literally not very long at all if you're doing it thin, like I said, a minute or two before it's set up enough to maintain a good adhesion, right? If you want to be sure, you spray it real quick. For me on stream, I'll do one coat of primer, right, and get it covered, and then we're talking, and then I'll keep doing it. And by the time I'm going back over a model front and back and all that, it's usually enough to make it good. Sometimes I'll prime them too fast here, and do I have a good example of this? Yeah. Like if I were to prime these guys the day I shoot them, you'll notice that I'm rubbing primer off the edge of the base where I hold the model while I paint it. But nowhere else have I rubbed primer off, just where I've made contact with it. Like maybe here you can see like right underneath if you can tell that, looks like it's grayed out a bit to the resin there because I probably let that rest on my finger as I was painting something. So I might smudge and rub it, but it won't crack it off. And then I'll just touch that up with real paint and it'll be fine. I handle my models, but fairly gently. If you're rough or if you have very oily hands, if you sweat a lot, then maybe wearing gloves will help you too. But gloves don't protect from rubbing the paint off if it doesn't have good adhesion.
Is there a bottom limit for temperature you can rattle can prime with?
With our primers, I like to say no above freezing. Just make sure that the can itself is at room temperature before you go spray it, right? But we have lots of people that have, the guys at Color Forge, when they test, they will spray in like the rain.
Spray in the rain.
In the cold. They don't have extreme heat like we have here, but Chris has sprayed in 115 degrees.
Oh yeah, I've tested it pretty, and
so
honestly,
both ends of the spectrum are pretty well covered.
I've primed something 5 minutes before stream too, which dealer's choice, but it worked for us.
I handle those models a little bit differently when primed with the rattle can.
Because those are
quick. But our rattle can is an acetone base and it evaporates super quick. So the nice thing about that is that our sprays and the Color Forge sprays are based off of a technology that is usually used typically in like marking paint that has to cure very quickly, because if you were to do it like on a sign or a road, you can't have it stay wet or it gets torn off.
Yeah.
Right? So they dry really quick but dry really smooth. Right? So the nice thing with our rattle cans is that you can treat them almost just like acrylics. They dry so fast. They just stink longer.
Well, it says I have an acetone base too.
What? Yeah, exactly.
You get one of those today, Wad.
No, he doesn't.
Just one.
Fired.
I don't know if he can fire you, Wad, but maybe he can.
What? Why wouldn't I be able
Wherever
to fire?
Your job
why
is,
wouldn't I
Wad.
be able to fire Wad?
He's going to call your employer. Beware.
His lawyer?
His employer.
Oh.
Going to call you.
Wait, I'm going to call his employer?
Yeah, fire him. You're going to call his employer and say, hey, Wad should be fired.
I'm not trying to fire anybody from their job.
I think you are.
I'm trying to fire him from the stream.
Oh. Wad says, sorry, we can't all be top 5 viewers. Oh.
What?
R.I.P.
That'd try harder. Not with that attitude.
Yeah, you could be like Little Billy.
That one surprised me. Not because Little Billy's not here a lot, but that's a lot. But also, I don't trust Twitch because Wad's here. Panic Bomb.
I think it's interactions, and because Little Billy's always typing away. Probably what it is. That's okay.
Well, yeah, I thought that section was most heckles at first, but then it had T. Schmidt in there, and he didn't heckle us. T. Schmidt's nice.
Little Billy says all you have to do is harass Chris. I guess so. But then, yeah, Taylor doesn't. Well, he made
T. Schmidt is one of the nicest people ever. He gave us this.
Yeah. I wouldn't classify him as nicest for that button, but something. He's something.
He gave us the Chris, you're fired button.
Yeah, it's really great. Really good for my self-esteem, T. Schmidt. Also, yes, I thought that button was great. Thank you. Thank you for giving that to Jason.
He gave it to you at Adepticon. I saw it.
No, he gave it to you to then go in the blind off in the distance and record something.
Recorded it.
You lurker, T. Schmidt. I know you're out there. That Chai Cat, do you guys have a video on how to use the airbrush primer? Not a specific video on the airbrush primer, but...
I mean, like, do you have a specific case that you're trying to work out? Because it's just don't thin it, put it in the airbrush, spray it.
Go watch the vehicle airbrushing video. That has a lot of good tips just in general about airbrushing. And with our primers, you don't have to thin it.
No thinning. Put it in the cup. Spray it. The one thing that I always say is that when doing that with paint, make sure you don't load the whole cup up. Do the cup about a quarter of the way full. But that's with any paint. If you listen to me, I'm always telling you, do not fill the airbrush cup up because acrylics tend to cure so fast that you will get a skin of paint around the rim of the cup that can fall down and clog the airbrush as it loosens.
Jason, it's about that time.
What?
3:57.
I refuse. Oh, I actually have to go do something tonight, don't I?
Probably.
Oh, geez. That's a Chris I doesn't know, but he's sick of me already.
You got something on your calendar?
6 o'clock.
No, it's earlier than that.
Nah, I mean, on one of them, it's the same thing, but they want us there 5 to 8, but the event's really 6 to 7. There's an hour before and an hour after to sit around and pull people's chains, and I'm not interested in that, so.
You can't fire Wad because he's the welcoming.
This is starting to look good,
committee.
right?
Yeah,
like
Wad,
that.
we can't fire you. You got to stay. You're the welcoming committee. I would agree with you, Lumberjack.
I think the gold trim is going to be enough different from the bronze on her that it'll look really good with the color choices that we've chosen. Dun, dun, dun.
I just saw it, Mo. Sorry. I don't need to apologize to you, Mo. I saw his question. I just said it.
Just worry I'm doing each layer too thick, and I think I just need to see someone do it. Sure, yeah. We can we prime enough on here. If you remind us, we can prime a model. I've got some stuff I probably need to do anyway.
We have
all my
texture.
Legion stuff's prime.
We have texture trainers
Chris is
that
my
you can
hero.
demo on. That's what the texture trainers are for.
Also true.
That's why Chris puts those up there for you, so that
Also true. I
you-
have a bunch of white ones for some reason.
just in case you need to, I don't know, show us something with a texture trainer. I'm just trying to give little hints to Jason. Hey, I like the hand. Don't get me wrong. But what if we did it on a model? Just saying. There you go, Chad. I'm done.
Are you
Bam.
saying I'm not the hand model for the hobby?
No?
Is that what you're trying to say?
Don't get
you
me
can't
wrong.
clip those and use them to good?
I do. I do clip them.
I don't understand
do.
him at all.
I just was like, we make a tool that is specifically to teach people how to paint, and it's just like, no, let me use my hand, which is fine. The hand's
Wad
good.
does such a good job. He thought he was a welcome bot. Yeah, like literally, Wad sometimes welcomes people before we do,
That's right.
which is awesome.
I don't welcome anybody anymore because
You
Wad
can't
is
spell
so.
either.
Oops.
Disocord.
There
Miso.
you go.
Miso love quiso.
Desocord. I'm gonna make that a command now. Thanks for the awesome stream. Hey, thank you, James Armstrong. I hope you learned something today.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Wad is the norm of Twitch. He's the barfly of the channel. We have a lot of them though. I love it. Our community is one of the best. You need to go if you are new around here. Number one, thanks for hanging out and watching some paint dry with us today. We love it. We do this Monday through Friday on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube, all simultaneously, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, from Monument HQ. But join our Discord. Chris put the link up in there. Tremendous amount of painters, over 6,000 amazing community members that are highly active. Lots of stuff going on, lots of talk and jibber jabber. Right there you go. Join the Discord. It's a fun time. Happy, fun business time. Happy business, happy fun time. Business, happy, fun, awesome,
We're at that part of the stream where
fun,
just gonna let
fun?
them roll.
fun business, happy.
Jason, I say it often enough that you
Ha
know
ha
what
time?
it is. I see what he's doing, chat. I'm serious.
Haha.
I'm being serious. But fun, win-win.
Win is the word I forgot. Dang it. It's happy business, fun, win, fun paint time. There you go. But it is like our own little cheers.
I don't know what to tell you, chat. I try. You think I said enough for Jason to know the quote?
Fun, win, something. So, yeah, exactly. It's like Charlie Brown's
Fun,
teacher, I don't know.
win, paint, business time.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh,
I
jeez.
don't know what I'm going to do.
But thank you so much. Make sure to check out monumenthobbies.com. While the sale is over, the fun never ends. You can still grab your most amazing hobby products. There are still a handful of Wizard's Butt sets left, so get over there and grab some before they're gone. Or if you've had enough time to get a Wizard's Butt set and fall in love with all the colors, maybe buy a second so you don't ever run out. But
That's true.
we'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you so much. What is tomorrow? Thursday?
I hope so.
Thursday. You hope so.
If it's not Thursday, then I'm way off.
You're just trying to get out of this week?
No, it just doesn't feel like Wednesday.
It doesn't.
It doesn't feel like a Wednesday.
It doesn't actually.
Feels
It
like
still
a
feels
Monday.
earlier in the week, but I'm happy. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Stick around. Chris is going to find you somebody to raid, so show some love in the chat we wind up in, and we will catch you back here mañana. Adios, gang.